Dudes, we got a fun one today, so we're gonna do these two Peaveys. They're both solid state, but they both got the trans tube technology. So this one's is the silver stripe, and this one's the red stripe. Why don't you go ahead and tell me in the comments which one you think will be better. I don't really know at this point. I'm going to compare these two. We're going to switch them between those two. I got a super overdrive that I'll use as well, and we're going to need that noise gauge. But everything's going to be hooked up and going, and then we can just switch with this D-Liso amp selector. All right, what's up everybody? Today we got the two Peaveys, solid states. I believe James Brown developed both of these guys, and I don't know the difference in the years on these guys, but that would be interesting to know. Maybe I'll put that down in a description or something. But I know a lot of people have liked the silver stripe and have liked the red stripe. So we're gonna find out which one's better today. What we're gonna do is run these through my V30s, my 412 cabinet. These I converted from combos. They were both combos, and cut them up. I know, I butchered this one. That was the very first one I ever did, so give me that. It looks horrible. Maybe you can't see the details, but it was literally cut in half right here and then stuck together, but I'd figured out a better way to go about doing this stuff. Anyways, we're gonna go through the silver stripe and the Bandit red stripe and see which one is gonna be better for us or for you or whatever. See if there's similarities in them. I'm sure there will be, but let's go ahead and get this started. What we're going to do is we're going to start off doing with the cleans here. I think it is important to do that for these amps because, you know, I think everybody wants to hear all the similarities to these guys. So we'll go ahead and go through those cleans first. And I have to say that there's different gain stages on the red stripe compared to the silver. And we'll go over that when we get there. Let's go ahead and start with the cleans here. So right now, we're gonna start with the silver stripe, and this is what that sounds like. All right. Let's go to the neck pickup. Not too bad. Okay, I do want to note that I do have the Power Amp T Dynamics all the way up on both of these. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to the red stripe. See what that sounds like. All right, that definitely sounds warmer for sure. Now the EQ is going to be set to all noon, and then I'll start messing with it as the channels I go through. So, all right, go back to the silver stripe. Now, okay, so in the power amp section, we do have a presence and a resonance, but they're different on each of them. The silver stripe has a button that you just push in for the resonance, which is right here behind this little patch cable I got going on here. And for the red stripe, it's got a resonance for a tight and loose. Right now I got it a tight, and the red stripe already sounds a little thicker than the silver. Here's the red. A little fuller, a little more musical. the bridge pickup. And back to the silver stripe. I don't know why anyone would only use the bridge pickup on the cleans, to tell you the truth. It just sounds so much more to it with the neck. This is what it sounds like without the resonance switch going on. As we would expect, to be just a little, you know, not as thick, right? And this is with it on. All right, let's go back over to the red stripe. And so this is what it's like with the tight mode on. And it still sounds more, like it has more depth to it than the actual silver stripe. All right, so let's go to loose. Whoa. I like that a lot better, actually. Now there is a bright switch on the silver silver stripe, so let's go ahead and gauge that. Go back over to the silver stripe and see what that sounds like. And without. And back over to the red stripe. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the red stripe more with the EQ at noon for everything. We could probably get more out of the silver stripe by using the EQ. So let's see if we can match it. Let's do that. All right, so that's this red stripe, silver stripe. All right, let's bring in some lows. Go back to mids and bring up the highs, just like I usually do. It definitely sounds a lot more live. Let's compare. I don't know, the red stripe still sounds a lot more live. Yeah, the silver just sounds duller. There is one more mode we should check, which is, right now it's on vintage, which I would think would be comparable to what that is right now. But let's go ahead and flip it over to the modern setting on the red stripe and see what that sounds like. So this is still the vintage. All right, here's the modern. It definitely brought it to mids. Okay, so it just sounds louder. Let's try that again. So. There's a little more top end. It's like the modern kind of brings up the low mids. That's definitely what I'm hearing, is the low mids here. So the vintage, modern. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think the vintage gives it a little more spiky tail end, and then the modern definitely gives it more of a low mids. All right, so now let's go ahead and go over to the lead channel, which is funny because these amps don't have like a crunch. Clean and then lead. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the leads and compare those. All right, so let's go ahead and switch over. We're going to the bridge pickup. That's pretty crunchy actually. You know what, let's go ahead and put everything back at noon. All right, so the pre-gain is at 6. Let's bring it back to about 3. It sounds pretty muffled, to tell you the truth. Let's bring the gain back up to 5. All right, I like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to the red stripe. And everything is at noon, good. We're on loose. All right, cool. That sounds pretty good, I like that. Definitely derivative of the lead. But what's cool about this one has 3 gain stages. There's a vintage, modern, and then a high gain. Just to go ahead and explain, the modern definitely takes the characteristic of the thrash button. I mean, it's so cool that there's a thrash button, but kind of the same thing with those Marshalls with mid shift. The button that you never want to touch. So, anyway. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll mess with this T Dynamics button or dial just to see what it does to the sound. So let me see if I can dig into it here. Actually, let's go back to the Silver Stripe and listen to that again. It just sounds a little lame, to tell you the truth. It's not something anyone would ever use. All right, let's go back to the red stripe. That just sounds way better. That's definitely usable crunch down there. All right, so now let's go ahead and bring the T Dynamics to 50%. Back to 100. All right, let's go over to the Silver Stripe. Listen to that. Let's go back to 50% on it. red stripe, 50%. All right, I'm already getting the sense that this red stripe is better. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are hearing that on your end, but that is definitely what I'm hearing on my end. Silver stripe, and let me just go ahead and explain this. The effects loop here, it doesn't work without my patch in there. This, you know, these are old amps. James Brown told me, because I was having an issue with this with getting any sound, that it's a common problem, that you would need to clean out the jack, put, you know, some electronic cleaner and put it on the end of a jack and go ahead and push it in and out. So that should clean it up, and it did, it helped it. But I still have to put the patch in for it to engage any kind of sound. There's that. I guess going back to what I was talking about with the T Dynamics, it does the same thing for both amps. And the best way I can describe it is it excites the amp a little bit more. It gives it a little more highs, a little more lows, and makes it a little bit louder. I mean, that's the best thing I can describe it as. So go back to 100. I guess the idea is to make it feel more like a tube, give it a little more sag, which I guess that's what it's doing. Okay. All right, let's go over through the other gains and see what they sound like compared to each other. We'll start with the modern on the Bandit, the red stripe. It's definitely a lot thicker. All right, let's go over to the silver stripe and engage the thrash button, and that's what this sounds like. What did it sound like without it? Yeah, just a lot more mids, so it's exactly what I was thinking it was doing. It's cutting the mids here. Maybe that's good for bedroom volume and just getting that feel, but it's just bad all around for that thrash button, and even the modern mode on this guy. Now it's tons better. It sounds like the Scoop Mid Triple X. That's what it sounds like. Which that's not a bad tone at all, actually. It's not something that you use in a mix or anything, but it's fun. Let's go ahead and boost the gain on that. Oh, I do have an issue with this amp because of all this setup that it makes that squeal on this one specifically. So it is what it is. Added some more gain. I mean, that's a good bit of gain, man. It already sounds like it has a overdrive on it. Now, could I do that with the silver stripe? Where is it at? Let's go ahead and bring the T Dynamics back up because it does make it a little louder. And let's bring this up just a tad. All right. We're gonna need more gain. All right, brought that up to 3 o'clock. There it is. That sounds pretty decent, actually. And I like that it catches my pick. It has this like little metal clang to it whenever I'm hitting it. This will probably be good with an overdrive. Let's go ahead and do that. Overdrive's on. Bring up all the mids, or the lows. Now that sounds good. Let's see if that compares to the red stripe. Different animal. Would I put an overdrive on that? Definitely not. Let's see if we can bring up the mids to 3 o'clock, bring up some highs, and see what that sounds like. Yeah, that, whoa, there's a sound. There we go. I mean, that does sound better. I mean, that's old school death metal. That's what that tone is. So the vintage, I guess you got your Marshall, and the modern, you got your old school death metal, which is the 90s kind of thing, which I guess at that time would be modern, right? Makes sense. And then let's go ahead and go over to the high gain mode. Oh! Okay, I had to bring that back a little bit. This is how much gain I could get without that squealing. So let's listen to that. Oh yeah. Now this I could probably put an overdrive on. Ooh. Now that sounds like a nice high gain tone. That's definitely workable. Let's bring up the lows because it is lacking because I got the overdrive on. Probably bring a little bit of highs. Okay, check it out. Oh, that's it right there. That is sick. All right, so let's go over to the silver stripe, get the last bit of high gain tones on it, and then we'll call it. All right. That sounds pretty good too. Oh, wow. Red stripe. Tell you what, there is a gain button. We're going to push that now. Let's release the thrash. So I need to release that button. I just did that. Whoa. Let's bring the gain back. All right, so let's see what it sounds like now. A lot more low. This one has a lot of lows, to tell you the truth. And this was on loose, so, okay. Let's bring the lows back again and bring the highs in. Oh, I think we have, the camera just died, but I think we have a contender here. This is with the overdrive on. With it off, it sounds like this. Very flubby. Bring up the gain to about 3 o'clock. Which that's pretty good. I'm gonna bring up the presence to 3 o'clock too. digging that. That actually sounds pretty good. It is starting to clip a little bit. Let me bring the gain just, or the volume down just a tad. Let's go back over to the red stripe. Listen to that. Now it sounds like this one's scooped a little bit more. But it's sitting in a really good spot. Let me go ahead and add some more mids to it. Yeah. You hear that whenever I do the... There's definitely like a definition to it. Silver stripe. Okay. I'm going back to what a guy said on the post that I made on YouTube about these two. He was telling me that what he gathered was the silver stripe had more high mids and the red stripe had more of the low mids. And that is exactly what I'm hearing here. So with everything dialed in the way I would dial them in, that's what I hear. So this is the silver stripe. Let's go ahead and bring some more mids into it. 3 o'clock. And the red stripe. I think if we add some presence, which I might think that's a little too much. All right. That's it. That's right there. Let's go ahead and gauge the overdrive. Oh, that's sick. It might need a little more tweaking. I like that. That is pretty sick. Silver stripe with the OD. And one more time, The red stripe? And one more time, the silver stripe. Well, there we go. Man, that's a tough one. I think I have to give it to the red stripe because of the versatility. I think with the silver stripe, when you get into the lead stuff and you leave the thrash button out, of course the T dynamics all the way up, it just sounds better. You turn that all the way up. I don't know any reason why you would turn it down. I think the red stripe, that one would be for me. And it's newer, right? It looks newer. It looks like a newer model, like maybe 2000 era. Maybe this is the 90s. Let me know what you guys think. I think that was pretty interesting to hear solid states really, you know, go up against all the tube amps that I play. And what I'll do is, since I like the red stripe better, I'll take this one and compare it to other tube amps and maybe have a series of the Bandit versus tube amps. Maybe I'll do that. I'll get the best tone I can get out of the red stripe and then go through tube amps and just maybe have a no talking video for the most part, and then just go through each amp, tube amp versus the Bandit. That'd be a pretty interesting one, huh? All right, let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments, subscribe, and like this stuff. DMD out.